Hi everyone, welcome back to WesKnows Tech News and Reviews. Today we'll be looking at the overpriced smart wearables because, as we all know, a lot of wearables out there are absolutely great, and usually when we do reviews, by I mean YouTube reviewers, we look at the bright side of these gadgets. Not all of us look at the limitations, and none of us really do this deep dive. Is the price of these wearables actually justified? So that's what we're going to do today. We'll be looking at 4 smartwatches, well, that I think are actually overpriced in 2021. And we'll be doing a deep down into their spec list, their features, their design, and so forth, even brand recognition. And we'll try to come up with a decision. Are these items actually really overpriced, or are they priced just right? So, without further ado, let's get into it. If you are new to WesKnows Tech News and Reviews, we talk about the latest tech news. We do brutally honest reviews and share hacks and tricks along the way. So just recently, I've actually uploaded a community post to WesKnows Tech News and Reviews community page. And what we can see. And I've asked for the people to vote which watch is most overpriced, and over 50% have come back and said the Apple Watch Series 6 and 7. Of course, in that list I've also had the Huawei Watch 3, which I think costs just a ton of money. Especially, it's not such a major upgrade from the Huawei Watch GT2, but the price is more than double. And of course, we've got the Fitbit Luxe and the Fitbit Charge 5 in that list. But as we can see, most of the respondents did say that the Apple Watch Series 6 and 7 are the most overpriced from this list. So let's do a deep dive into these 4 smartwatches and do an informed decision on whether they are overpriced or not. So we're going to kick off with the Apple Watch Series 6 and 7. Okay, so the most important fact about the Apple Watch Series 6 and 7. They both started at £369 or $399. That's a lot of money, and mind you, that's only the starting price. The prices do go up to £600 or thereabouts, or around $700 US. That is a lot of money to be paying for a gadget, for a smart wearable. Now let's look at some of the core functionality that the Apple Watch brings to you. So first of all, it does have an ECG monitor. So by putting your finger on the crown and keeping it there for 30 seconds, you will be getting an ECG reading. And that, yes, that's a mighty awesome feature. Now it's also got continuous SpO2 monitoring. It can monitor your heart rate, your 3 sleep stages. It does a lot of fitness and activity tracking. It's got onboard GPS, it's got storage, it's got a microphone, it's got a speaker, and you also have LTE versions, meaning that you have the option to put an eSIM into the watch. And that means that you don't actually have to carry around your smartphone with you. Your watch will be acting as a smartphone. You can actually take calls from the watch, and that is also very cool. But those smartwatches with the LTE functionality will be costing you at least $450 or £450 or thereabouts. So that's not going to be in the base versions. Now, of course, there are a lot of more nice features, like a beautiful retina display. It's got bright colors. There's, you can bring photos to your screen. You got relatively thin bezels, but the design of the 6 and 7 are very similar. You still get that rectangular slab. Now let's talk about the limitations, because so far we've heard the positives, we've heard the core functionality. Yes, it is beautiful. So with the Apple Watch Series 6, it took you an hour to get the battery from 0 to 80%. On the Apple Watch Series 7, it's actually a third quicker, so 45 minutes will get you from 0 to 80%. That sounds amazing. But the biggest limitation here is battery life overall, because if you do have the always on display, you do make a workout or have a workout during the day, if you are reading notifications and popping your watch open quite a bit, it will last you just 18 hours. That's less than a day. Also, if you do switch off your always on display, if you don't do any workouts, it might just last you just over 24 hours. You don't hear many people talk about this, but this is the biggest limitation of the Apple Watch. But the biggest, but not the only one. Another major limitation is that the Apple Watch can only work if you've got an Apple device, only if you have an iPhone. And of course, the price. But then of course there is brand recognition. It is an Apple device. And the packaging, the actual quality of the product, I would say that the Apple Watch is an expensive item. But the amount of mindfulness, health attributes that it's got carrying it, I think that if you go even for the cheapest version or the most basic version, you still get a top quality product. And I think all the bips and bops of the extra features that you get with the Apple Watch, I think that price, it might be slightly overpriced, but then again, most of the Apple products are quite dear and expensive, but people love them. Well, even I've got an Android device and I've got an iPhone, but I do prefer the iPhone. That's just the way it is. So I would say that the Apple Watch is not overpriced. It's priced correctly. And no wonder it has the largest gadget sales out there, because people love it and they are ready to pay that price, meaning that it's not really overpriced. And in that case, let's move on to the other watches. So we've got the Huawei Watch 3, as well as the Fitbit Luxe and the Fitbit Charge 5. First of all, I want to talk about the two Fitbits, and then we'll get onto the Huawei. Let's talk about the Fitbit Luxe. So this is an all-new addition to the fitness tracker market. Previously, Fitbit had the Inspire and the Inspire 2, and now it's the Luxe. I think the Luxe, Luxe, it's supposed to mean that it's a luxury item, but I don't think so, because this Luxe will actually set you back £130 or $140. That's a lot of money to pay for a 0.76-inch AMOLED display. Okay, it's AMOLED. Everything that was on the market for the last couple of years, all of the screens, or most, so 99% of the fitness tracker screens are AMOLED, but they are at least 1 inch. This thing is tiny, 0.76 of an inch. There's no NFC, there's only connected GPS, there's limited fitness modes. It is water resistant, but it's just so small. Operating the gadget is just not as convenient. I don't know. For that much money, I would at least be expecting an altimeter to actually tell me how many steps I've climbed. Doesn't have that. There's no barometer. There is no music storage. This thing is just so simple. There is no always on display. And you're paying the amount of money that would justify you going out there and buying a very good smartwatch. Anyway, so that's the Fitbit Luxe. Now there's a huge limitation to the Fitbits, and we'll be discussing this limitation just after I tell you about the Charge 5. So the Charge 5 is another addition to the Fitbit smartwatch range. Now this is a step up from the Fitbit Luxe. The Charge 5 does get you closer to this hybrid smartwatch look. So it's a continuation of the Charge series. We've all known the Charge 2, 3, 4, and now the 5th. But finally, it's not just black and white. You get an all-color AMOLED display. And even though this plastering plastic on top of your wrist looks big, this screen is just 1.04 inches large. So it's really not that big at all. The colors are bright, and the way you walk through the screens, it's not optimal. Also, one of the biggest downsides of the Charge 5, that considering this is a fitness watch, fitness oriented, it does have GPS, it is water resistant, but there is no music storage. Fitbit has dropped Spotify support, so you can't get the Spotify app onto the watch, and also you can't actually control the music from your watch. Even the music that you're playing on your smartphone, there are no music controls, full stop. So this is the Charge 5, and the price here is £169 or $199. Also, quite a lot of money. Now, when the release happened in the back end of September 2021, the watch did come out with a couple of shortcomings, which is basically your daily battery, as we have on the Garmin's. That wasn't available. Also, the ECG monitor wasn't available. It has come around at the start of November, just last month. So we do have the ECG monitor as well as the daily readiness score. But does it justify this humongous price? I don't know. I would say not. But here is the biggest limitation on all Fitbits. The fact is, with Fitbit, you're not just buying into a watch, and these watches are not cheap. With the Fitbits, if you want the premium features, well, premium as they call them, so if you do want your ECG monitor, if you do want an explanation on your sleep patterns, if you do want to use your daily readiness score, you will have to pay the premium subscription fee. And even though with your purchase you usually get 6 to 12 months of the Fitbit premium subscription for free, after that time, you will have to start paying, and that cost is not tiny. You're looking at a roundabout cost of £100 or $100 per year. That's quite a hefty amount to pay to get the features that you get as standard on other smartwatches. Now let's talk about the Huawei Watch 3, the all-new addition to the Huawei smartwatch series. So we've got the Huawei Watch 3, then we've got the Huawei Watch 3 Pro, which is even a more expensive version because the Huawei Watch 3 already costs £279 or $350. That's a lot of money. And considering that the Huawei watches are actually running on their own on their new operating system called Harmony OS, they are saying there will be apps there, but so far there's only around 20 apps which are available on that platform. That's not that much. And considering the price, that's the price of the Apple Watch or the Samsung Watch 4, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. I think that Huawei is pushing it, because the Huawei Watch 3 Pro will actually set you back £399 or $450. That is a lot of money. Now, of course, there is an LTE version available, and you can have continuous SpO2 monitoring. The battery life is still good. You are said that you will get 12 days of battery life on the Watch 3, and on the GT and on the 3 Pro it's slightly less, but still good. But that's fine. But all these features are not that different from the GT2 Pro, which we've had released at the back end of 2020, and it costs half that, £180 or just $200. So I just don't know why you're paying the premium. Okay, the design has slightly been changed, so you do get a rotating crown now, which is great, but I just don't see why you are made to pay this premium. Because if you ask me, the watches look very similar, I mean the Huawei Watch 3 and the 3 Pro, to a Amazfit GTR 3 and 3 Pro, but that one costs twice as little. Anyways, so out of this video, what I want to say is that in my opinion, the Fitbit Charge 5 is less overpriced than the Fitbit Luxe. I think that the Apple Watch Series 6 and 7 have a lot of really nice and premium functionality, and the brand recognition is there to justify the price. I also think that the Huawei Watch 3 as well as the 3 Pro is an excellent watch, and I think it is slightly overpriced because the brand recognition is definitely there. We know and cherish the Huawei watches for their heart rate accuracy, for their great sleep accuracy. We love the actual look of the watch. We love the fitness metrics. But I think that pushing it past the $300 mark, that's quite hefty. Anyways, Thank you for watching this review and comparison of the overpriced smartwatches in 2021. If you did enjoy the review, please drop me a like, and I'll see you in the next one.